and I would love your opinion on this too, because I think a lot of the producers in here, the people that make music, they're looking to try to get their foot in the door with record labels, and they're looking for ways to like not mass spend emails, like just send stuff, and hopefully they'll be able to see a name, or one day someone's sitting on the beach and they're looking at their phone and be like, oh, I gotta take a look at this. But when it comes to being hesitant about that, what is your recommendations for anybody that's looking to try to get that foot in the door?
I think, it's always great to do your research first. Sometimes I get like these mass kind of promotions emails I think people will send out. And like the thing that just drives me insane is it'll like, first of all, sometimes it'll say like Mr. Program Director, Mr. Music Director. And I'm like, whoa, this is not starting out well at all. And that's something I'm super passionate about, is, elevating like women and non-binary and people who don't get their opportunities. So to start out like that, not great. So find out who the person is. Even if you don't know my pronouns or anything, you can just use my name. I think those mass emails are probably useful for people to do, but if you can be a little more personalized, and I don't need you to know like my life story or anything, but if you're like, hey, Harmony, hope you're doing well in Seattle, but also just please just send me one thing. I really don't like when people send me a whole EP, because one, unfortunately, I don't have the time to listen to the whole thing. Also, it is traditional in the industry to have a focus single, right? Like Lady Gaga doesn't just like release her whole album and be like, pick which one you want to play. It's like, here's Disease, here's Abracadabra, here's, like they have a schedule. And you don't need to have a whole schedule, but be like, I think this is my strongest track. Also, it'll fit your radio station. So I had someone last week or earlier this week send me a track, and she did all the things I'm saying, but it was like something that like a CHR it had too many instruments. It wasn't electronic at all, but she had a great voice. And I felt bad because I'm like, she put in some work here, but like, this is not right for my station at all. And I always try to respond to people. And I said, I'm like, hey, you have a great voice, but unfortunately, this really doesn't fit the format on my radio station. If you ever do anything a little more electronic, please get it to me. And I think then they respond and were like, oh, I have a houseier sounding track coming out soon. Great. I don't think I responded to that email because I'm just like, okay, great. I might, right? Be like, hey, send it to me then. So yeah, I think doing your research is the most important thing, and making sure you're not just like, here's 100 songs. Like, nope, can't do it.
And when it comes to radio, the rule of thumb is that the average listener listens about 22 minutes at a time, sitting in the car, stuff like that. But even more so, a lot of people, when it comes to understanding air checks and listening to those types of air checks, or even just a demo, even me, when I get new music in through the DJ pools, I don't spend my whole 3 minutes listening to the entire track unless I'm really vibing. But, I have enough time for a verse and a chorus and maybe the beginning of in the end.